All right. I think we might be good. Let me get the chat box up here. Hi, Brandy and Miriam. Nice to see you lovely ladies. All right, let's see if we're cooking on Facebook. I think we are. All right, I'll get it up on my phone. So hello to everybody who's here with me. I'm just getting the video on my phone so that I can watch the comments because they don't seem to work right on my computer for some reason. But all right, so hello everybody on Facebook and here on Zoom. I am a few minutes late. So I apologize for that. Thanks for your patience. All right, so for anybody who is new, I think at this point, you probably, if you're watching this, you probably caught wind of part 1 or 2. But this is part 3 of our Unlocking Abundance series here with the Sisters Enchanted. And today we're talking about visualization and tips and tricks and tangible stuff, some tools you can use for your manifesting abundance journey, whatever your abundance thing is that you want to bring into your life, whatever you want to be abundant in. We'll talk about some different kind of magical tools, really easy stuff you probably already have lying around that you can use. And I'm going to do a little guided visualization for you also. So that is what we are doing today. Hi, Sharon on Facebook. I hope you are doing well, Sharon, and that you are abundant in all the things. So if you're new here, like I said, I'm Sarah, one of the founders of the Sisters Enchanted. Hi, Jillian, long time no see you. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, it's our mission to make magic mainstream and bring magic to people all over the world. And that's what we're doing here with Unlocking Abundance. So day 1, we talked about storytelling and the story that you've been carrying through from your past to your present and what that will look like for your future if you keep going with that same story, right? And how is your past going to just keep spinning, and how's this cycle going to continue if you don't break that story and rewrite yourself a new story, right? So that's what we did on the first day. The second day, we did a little ceremony. And I saw in the thread in the Facebook group, so many people participated and shared theirs. So I love checking those out. And the ceremony was to burn your past, to bury the future, bury your present so it can grow into your future, and to bring on the future by doing some tangible things and some spiritual things and all that good stuff. So that's what we've done so far. If you missed either of those and you want to catch up, they are part of our Enchanted Journey program going forward. So you can check that out. It's open for enrollment with some cool bonuses through the end of the week. And today we are doing the visualization exercise. So I'll talk just some tips and tricks around manifesting. Everybody always wants to know the magical sort of things you can do. And then I'll do a visualization with you. It'll just be kind of a quiet, calm, meditative thing. I'm not going to play any music for fear that Facebook will take my video down. So it'll just be me. We can close our eyes and do some visualization together. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that you might see floating around. If you ever ask in a Facebook group, particularly in ours, what's something I can do to manifest X, Y, and Z? You're going to get 100 million different answers. So let me tell you, though, some quick and easy tips and tricks, some things, the tangible stuff that you can have at your fingertips. So if you watched video 1, day 1, I talked about a house with a foundation. Let me get my horrible picture up. So I gotta put it just right so you can see it with no glare. I think you can kind of see it. But we talked about a house. So your foundation is all the stuff we've done so far. It's going through the storytelling piece, figuring out why you're not abundant to begin with. Like, why are you holding yourself back in abundance, right? And then all the stuff we do, like crystal grids and abundance checks and candles and all this stuff. This is like the front of our house. It's the part of our house that we can see. So you might have a crumbling foundation, but you could still slap a pretty nice coat of paint on your house and no one would notice, right? It's the same with bringing in abundance of any kind. So whatever you want to be abundant in, it's the same with that. You can have a really crappy foundation but make it look sparkly and nice, your spiritual abundant self, which is what we do when we, maybe you manifest like 5 pounds of weight loss, but then you gain back 7. You do it every single time. You're putting a quick coat of paint on, but your foundation's still really crappy, right? We got to fix the foundation, which is why I started with storytelling and not this kind of stuff that people really want to hear about. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today, though, is the stuff you can do once you have your foundation underway. So one thing you'll hear a lot about is abundance checks. So this is if you want to bring money into your life. Literally all it is writing a check to yourself from the universe for a specific amount of money. And you can lay this out on a crystal grid. You can burn it and send it to the universe. You can bury it. You can put it on a shelf somewhere with other like images or little things that remind you of the reason why you want the money. So abundance checks are something you'll hear about often. And again, it's one of those things though that some people have a lot of success with and some people never have success with. And I think that when you are doing the foundation work, that's when you'll start to have success with things like that. Lisa says, you said your house was bringing down the neighborhood. Yeah. So we can just come paint it for you. I know. Oh, my house. We need to like rip the whole outside off. Anyway, so abundance checks, you literally can write yourself a check. You can print blank checks off the internet. If you just search abundance checks blank, you'll probably find printables. You can just print them off and write yourself an abundance check. Roses are the highest vibrational flower. And so we work on frequencies, right? Our energies work on frequencies. And the idea is that when we are not abundant in some area, we're lacking something, we are operating at a lower vibration and we're calling in more of that low vibration. So when we surround ourselves by things that work at a higher vibration, like roses or like certain crystals, different natural elements, even the emotion of joy, the experience of feeling joy is a higher vibration. So when we do things like dancing, singing, when we do things that are at this higher vibration level, and we align that with what we want to be abundant in, then the idea is we can bring more of that in. So setting crystal grids with certain crystals, different natural elements, things like roses are all really great for bringing in abundance in some area. The herb chamomile, so drinking chamomile tea. So chamomile, we always think of it as a calming herb, right? Like if you want to go to sleep or calm your nerves. But chamomile actually has fairy associations, is aligned with the fae. And so chamomile is actually an herb that's really great to work with if you want to bring abundance into your life in some way. And I personally think that that's because of that fairy association. I don't know if that's actually the case or not. But fairies, like we talked about on day 1, I think, or maybe on day 2, are really great manifestors in general. They are of this plane, but not of this plane. So they vibrate higher, but they are able to touch on our earthly plane. And so that working with that, the herb chamomile, I think, can be kind of a connection there between you and working with the fae and bringing in that abundance. So with something like chamomile, you can make yourself a pretty cool like potion with crystals and whatnot. So this is actually, I don't have chamomile tea in my cup. I have a teacup. Well, I have tea in my cup. It has caffeinated tea in it currently. But if you had maybe some chamomile tea, you could do something like charge up you could have your chamomile tea, and you could surround it by like create a crystal grid. And you could do this, you could have a crystal grid on your kitchen counter or wherever it is you brew your tea all the time. And you can actually like have your chamomile, and you could lay like clear quartz around it, citrine around it. If you're wanting to be abundant in love, you could put some rose quartz around it. Whatever you want to be abundant in. If you are, what's it called? Is it unikite? Is that how you pronounce it? I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, but that is a good crystal for all sorts of different things. But I have this bracelet. I wore mine a lot for like early pregnancy and like women's grounding fertility stuff. And I would actually take it, and not this cup because it's kind of wide. Maybe I could put it on the bottom, but, and I, at the time, was using this like mug that had like a really narrow piece to it. And I would put it right on the mug and like charge up my, like red raspberry leaf tea to add some energy for abundance in women's health and all that good stuff. So yeah, and you could put flowers around it. If you're working on like an abundance of spirituality and source connection, or you want to be abundant in your ability to connect with spirit, you could do like a mugwort tea, and you could use crystals like amethyst or something, and you could put those and create a like a grid around your mugwort tea and drink that before bed. So you can get really, really clever, whatever you want to be abundant in, right? So you can use herbs and tea as part of your abundance. So we talked about using herbs for tea. I talked about roses. I talked about abundance checks for money. Candles. You can use candles in a lot of different ways. So of course you can use candles that are different colors. So Rebel is asking, would green aventurine be good for money abundance? Yeah, for sure. I had like a green aventurine bracelet I've been wearing for a while, and my kid broke it today and it shattered everywhere. And I have this plant, it's got like a real name, but it's called a Chinese money plant, and it's dying. And I was like, oh no, this is not good sign. We need to stop breaking the money things. But yeah, green aventurine is good for abundance, and like your heart chakra and love. Green has that dual thing, and which is interesting because I talked about one of these days, I think the first day, about how everything is intertwined, right? Like if you're lacking abundance in self-love or in love, you're probably at some point going to lack abundance in money as well, because they are connected. Like everything is connected. So if you're lacking abundance in money, you're probably lacking abundance somewhere else, which is causing these leaks to come into this way, right? Yeah, no, not good, guys. I'm trying to save the Chinese money plant. I forget what it's a Pilia something or other. I forget its actual plant name. But yeah, it's got like 2 leaves left. It had a bunch. But so candles, you can buy candles in all different colors if you want abundance of love or abundance of money, whatever. You can buy candles in different colors, or you can just use a plain old white candle. And you can do a lot of cool things. Like you can carve in the candle what your intention is. If it's health or love, you can carve symbols or make your own sigils or actual words. And then you can take herbs and you can actually dress your candle with different herbs or essential oils. And you can burn your candle to light some fire to your abundance. If you dress your candle with oils and herbs, though, definitely use a fire-safe container and have a lot of space, because the herbs in particular will catch fire. So don't just like slap it in one of those little chime candle holders and light it in the middle of the table or something. Give it some space to catch fire. But so you can use these herbs the same that you would use for a tea. You can dress a candle with them, and you can do that also. So another cool thing you can do if you're lacking abundance in some area of your life, like money or health or love or whatever, you can do an exercise where you actually like roll the candle over your body. And the idea is that you are going to visualize the negative energies, things that aren't serving you, things that are holding you back, going with the candle. You do it all over your body, and then you light the candle. And with that, you are releasing the negative energies, right? So those are a couple of things you can do. So of course there's crystals for everything, natural elements for everything. If you don't have a crystal shop near you, or some people just actually like don't enjoy working with crystals, which might sound strange to some of us, but it's totally true. You can use natural elements like grapevines, acorns. I talked about walnuts last Monday, real briefly. Walnuts, acorn, any kind of nut or seed is representative of abundance, because it's fertile, it's seed, it's going to grow. And when you want to be abundant in something, you want to grow it, right? So any kind of nut or seed. grapevines, like I said, grapeseed oil are all great abundant sort of things. I like to use just things from around me, like stones from the ocean, different things I pick up. I live by the beach, so different things I pick up over there. So you could definitely use different natural elements as well. So you can write yourself an abundance check. You can use any kind of tools, a lot of different things you can do to bring some abundance in. You can also work with the moon phases. You can really get, really into calling in the abundance, which is, I think, the more you put into it, but the more you do the foundational work, the better it's going to be for you. Okay, so now we'll talk a little bit about gratitude and visualization, and then we'll do the visualization. So it's really interesting. Somebody posted in the group about gratitude, I think, earlier this week, and somebody else posted back about, I forget what it was, but it was like a little controversial. Like people just were not in agreement, which is totally cool. People don't have to be in agreement. But let me talk about gratitude. So the idea behind gratitude is that we use it to shift our focus and shift ourselves from a place of feeling lack to a place of feeling grateful, which is about that vibration thing. So when you find yourself feeling like really down and out, maybe you're looking for an abundance of health and you go to the doctor and that you're not getting a health message. Maybe you really try to, a rebel's saying that walnuts will kill her because she's allergic, so she sticks to crystals. Yeah, do that. Maybe you're trying to lose some weight and you get on the scale and it's the same, or you gained a pound and you're like, I have been doing all the things I don't understand. Maybe you've been doing all the things to manifest money and you just keep getting more bills and more debt and you just don't understand. Practicing gratitude for what you have in that moment can seem really like not helpful, or maybe like a little bit too woo-woo. But the idea there is that you are shifting your energy from energy of lack, of jealousy, of guilt, into the energy of feeling grateful, of feeling joy, of being happy for what you have, and a feeling of trust also. When we constantly worry, we don't trust, it can be really hard to be abundant in anything as well, because we're always seeing the leaks and finding the holes in it. So that's the thing about gratitude. And a really cool practice can be to actually write something that you're grateful for every single day. So maybe first thing in the morning, maybe at the end of the day. If you find yourself really being like ticked at the world or something, take a moment and just find something you're grateful for. Like I've been working on being abundant in putting myself first and in self-care and all of that good stuff. So when I find something that is, if you guys can hear my little guy crying in the other room. So when I find something that's not going in that direction and I find myself feeling frustrated, what am I grateful for at that moment? Bring myself back to center and be grateful in that moment for everything that I have. So that's why we do gratitude, and that's why we incorporate gratitude into abundance work. All right. So the other thing that somebody was asking about in the group was visualization. And somebody asked about this on Monday when I said to write down your future. And I said on Monday to write your future as it will be if you continue on the path that you are on right now. And the reason that I had you do that rather than visualize your future, which is what we normally do in these sorts of exercises, is to really like put some real, wow, I need to change myself energy into the thing that you need to change in order to be abundant. And so if we don't see, where could I be? I feel like it's more powerful to see that and then shift it. So doing that hard work again, that shadow work. So when we visualize what we want to have in the future, the idea here is the more we do it, it's going to work on a couple of different levels. It's going to work on that vibration level where we're shifting our vibration to that of the thing that we want to have rather than what we have right now. And there's also this idea of like times coexisting and different lives happening all at once, which is really interesting, and alternate realities and things. And so the idea is that the more we're living in an alternate reality, the more we're going to bring that reality into being, which is really helpful for visualization. But also on a practical note, the more you see yourself doing something, the more the more you're putting yourself in that place, the more apt you are going to be to do something about it in your daily life, right? So the more you see yourself like, you know, uh, I don't know, weighing whatever your goal weight is and eating vegetables, like just sit there and visualize and meditate on it and write about it more and more and more, the more it's going to be in your head. You're replacing those thoughts of unhealthy habits and eating chips and sitting on the sofa with these thoughts of what your future is. So for on a practical note, you're not sitting there like dilly-dallying and rummaging through the cabinets and eating potato chips you shouldn't be eating. You're replacing those thoughts with that of the future. So they're stepping further and further into your alternate reality, which is making you be more and more able to bring that reality present for you. And so you want to spend time visualizing what you want to be abundant in as if you're abundant in it right now. And when you write about it, you want to write about it in the present tense. You really want to live it and be it and all of that good stuff. So that's the idea behind visualization, is it's working on a bunch of different levels there. But whatever you want to be abundant in, picture it as if it's happening right now. Write about it as if it's happening right now. If you want to be debt free, say to yourself, I'm debt free, and it feels amazing. Like visualize yourself paying off that last bill and feel the sigh of relief you feel to usher it out. So I think I told you on day one, I would tell the story, or I would tell little bits of the story of the summer that I manifested a whole bunch of money totally inadvertently. And I'll tell a story quick and then we'll do the visualization exercise for today. So my sister Anna and I, it was like a Friday night, and we were like, let's do a money spell. It was totally for fun. Neither of us needed the money for any particular reason. And we just happened to live close by and wanted to get down with our witchy selves on a Friday night. So we were like, I don't know what better way to do this than a money spell. And so we did that. We made the house extra witchy feeling, lit all these candles, like hung scarves over the lamps, dressed ourselves up. We cast a circle. We did all this cool stuff. And so we did our spell. And part of it was writing down that we each received, I think it was $40 that we wrote down. And we had to write, like we were going to write it as, in detail, like what we were going to do with it, how it felt to get it. And so Anna, I think she didn't really visualize very clearly. She's just like, I got $40. It feels great. I wrote this whole story about how I got $40. And then I envisioned us dancing around my sister's kitchen table, and I was singing, I got $40, I got $40. And I spent my $40 buying us bubble tea. And so we were drinking our bubble tea, dancing around the table, I got $40. And for like a month after that, I just sang in my head all the time, I got $40, I got $40. And then one after another, I had a family member offer to pay off my undergraduate student loans. That was $10,000. We received inheritance money that we weren't supposed to receive. My husband was not written into the will, actually, and his siblings were. And so a year prior to this, the person had passed. A year later, I did this. And his family all came together and gave him a chunk of money out of they just felt they want to do that and gave it to him. And then my husband also won $10,000 at the casino, all within like 1 month. And my sister got nothing. So we did the same money spell. But I really was into mine, I got $40 and I really felt it and believed it. And I visualized it very clearly. We were having this bubble tea and I could see the bubbles, or not that, what are those little things at the bottom of bubble tea? Very American version of bubble tea, those little things at the bottom. I could taste them and I could hear them hitting the glass and the big straw. And I was really into this visualization. Yeah, Lisa remembers the story. And tapioca balls. And it's totally, but the visualization, I think, I don't know what did it, but I did. I shared with my sister and she was like, oh, I didn't visualize that clearly. Mine's not going to work. And sure enough, I had all this abundance come my way, which was really super cool. So, the more you visualize, get down on those visualizations. So Brandy says the work of envisioning and intention does a lot. Yeah, for sure. And then if you find yourself doing all these things, you're like, but Sarah, I do this, I do all this, and it doesn't work. Go back to where those leaks are happening for you. What's the foundation thing you're ignoring? So don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do abundance work and it does not turn out as I planned. And then I'm like, all right, well, what is feeding into this, or what's pulling away from it, And a lot of times I'm living like at some level where I'm not taking care of myself. I'm putting everybody first. I'm doing things I don't really want to do. I am doing things I know I shouldn't do, or like before I make a choice, I'm like, this is not going to end well. And then I do it anyway. And yeah, so start recognizing those things, listening to your intuition. And, those are the moments when the abundance work is going to work the best for you. So visualization is definitely a top 3 thing you should be doing in your abundance work for sure. All right. So that said, let's do a little visualization exercise right now. Hi, MJ. Okay, I am going to, let's see if I have any incense, or what do I got in here? I got a half burnt incense cone. Let's go with it. I don't see, it's, Tanji says, does writing count as visualization? Yes, for sure. So part of that spell that we did, we actually were, I wrote it out. We didn't say it out loud. I shared it with my sister afterwards, but I wrote it down. And yeah. And there's a lot of cool ways you can do this. We have a moon class, and actually there's meditations in there where you, through the moon phases, you like plant your seed and then you tend to the seed over the lunar cycle. And you can write in the same way too, if you like work with lunar cycles, where you grow your intention over the cycle, but you write about it growing. If that makes sense. All right, I'm trying to light this half-used incense cone without burning my fingers. It's not working. Maybe there's a reason it's only half-used. It's a dud or something. I always like to light incense when I do meditations and things. I don't know why. It's a mental thing, I guess. All right, let's see if, yeah, this sucker does not want to stay lit. So we're gonna just stop doing that. All right. Okay, so let's see here. I lost my comments. All right. Let's see here. So Lisa says, I actually stoked your $40 song, kept saying I have good grades and raised my GPA from 3.5 to 3.6. Nice. Yes. Oh, you stole my thing. Yeah, I know. I got to get better at my own song and dance again. I dropped the ball on that recently. That's the little trick there. Okay. So we're going to do a visualization. It's kind of like a meditation, but more visualization, like a guided exercise. So you can do it with me now, or you can listen in and you can do your own version later or listen back on the replay. Totally up to you. All right. But what I want you to do is just take some deep breaths, start to focus on your breathing, wherever you're sitting or standing. If you can take a moment to feel yourself really connected to the earth beneath you. And, go ahead and close your eyes and get nice and comfortable. And focus on your breathing. Like I said, take a couple of deep breaths in and exhales out. Now, in your mind's eye, begin to see yourself forming. See an image of yourself forming in your mind. And if you're not a particularly visual person, you can imagine this in whatever way feels great for you. You can feel your energy, you can sense it happening, you can think about it happening, or you can see it happening. but you are forming in some way in your mind's eye. And that visual of you is walking forward. As it's walking forward, you sink further and further into your past self. You are moving into a past version of yourself, that is experiencing something that is making you feel less than abundant. Maybe you are opening up a bill. Maybe you are making poor choices in regards to your health. Whatever that is, this visual of you in your mind's eye, as it's walking forward, your present self is beginning to fill that visualization. You are moving through your past. You're moving through your past quickly. You're moving through it and you're hearing your story. You're seeing your story. You're experiencing it quickly. You're not dwelling on it. You're quickly remembering what it is that has put you in a lack of abundance to begin with. You might feel like a quick breeze over your body as you move through it. It might be like a fast movie just flashing before your eyes. But you're quickly moving through this past, this lack of abundance. You know full well why you're lacking in abundance in this area. You don't need to dwell on it. You move forward. As you get closer to your present, you walk forward. Your past is still just breezing by you. And right there in the distance is your present home space, where you live right now. It's where you spend your time, where you're most at home, where you feel most comfortable. You take a few steps forward and you step into that place. You feel safe, you feel at peace. You might feel a little overwhelmed. You might feel like, whew, that was a tough tunnel to walk through. But with that, you see on a table near you a book of matches. And you know right then what you need to do to move yourself away from that past and into your future. You look out the door of your house and you see that tunnel you just walked through. You see that past breezing by you, whether it felt like wind or you saw the images flashing one after another in your mind's eye. You see it out the door. You take those matches, you light one, and with full confidence, you throw it right into that tunnel. You release that past. You release it to the universe, to Mother Earth, to all that is, to be transmuted into something loving, something beautiful, something useful, something that will grow something else into being. After you throw that match, it quickly absorbs into a cloud of smoke. And you feel lighter. You feel lighter watching that smoke disperse and going somewhere else where it can be turned into something loving, something useful, something other than a cement block that holds you down. Now, in this present home space, while you're feeling lighter, you realize that it's time to bring the abundance your way that you long for, the abundance you deserve, the abundance you know that is available to you, that the universe is ready to give you if only you are open and ready to accept it. Now, in this home space, there's probably another window, another door, some other direction that you can open or look out of or exit from. You go to that space, that window or that door. And when you look through it, you see a void. That is your abundance waiting to be created. It's waiting to be manifested. The universe is waiting for you to create it into being. Take a moment and think about what it is that you are looking to be abundant in. What does that look like for you? What does it feel like? How does your life change? How do the people in your life change? How do you change? Do you change physically? Do you change emotionally? Do you change spiritually? What does your life look like when you are abundant in whatever it is that you want to be abundant in? When you are ready, you go through that opening, whether it's a window or a door, you walk through it, you climb through it, you jump out of it, and you land in that void. And as soon as you land in that void, your abundant future begins to appear all around you. Your abundant future is happening right now. That reality is being created in your mind at this very moment. Allow it to take form. Walk around, look up and down, side to side. Reach your arms out and feel around. You can think this, you can feel it energetically, you can see it in your mind's eye. But as you move into that void, your future is happening right now. You are creating that abundant future. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What is different? See it in as much detail as you possibly can. Think about it in as much detail as you possibly can. Feel it in as much detail as you possibly can. Keep your eyes peeled for one thing in particular that sticks out to you, or feel it, or hear it, sense it, think about it. What's one thing that is very different? What is one tangible object you can pick up in this alternate reality and bring back with you? Allow the feeling of this abundance to fill you up, mind, body, and soul. Choose the object if you haven't yet, something you can bring with you, something that's tangible, something that's different, something that changes for you. Hold it in your hands and allow it to fill with that feeling of abundance, the feeling of freedom, feeling of excitement, of pure joy, of accomplishment, of success. That's the only thing you can take with you when you go back to your home space. This reality has been created for you, and you're able to step back into it anytime that you need to. You can take this one thing back with you into your home space, into your present space. And when you pick it up, it will help you to feel this feeling of abundance, to feel the abundant future, to transport you back to your alternate reality of abundance. You hold on to this object like it's the most fragile thing in the world, the most meaningful thing to you. And you walk backwards, back, and you go back towards your home space. You go back through the door, you climb back up into the window. However you exited, you enter back in that same way. And you are back in the place that you call home, the place where you feel most comfortable now in your present. But you have with you that one object. Now you know it's time to come back to your actual reality and do the work to bring that abundance into your life. Now that you've released your past, it's no longer there. You've seen what your future can hold. You know that it will hold that. It does hold that because you've just been there. It can be a reality for you. It is your reality, if only you're open to receiving it. We're going to take 3 deep breaths in and out. And on the third, you can open our eyes and come back to our present. 1 deep breath in and exhale out. 2, a deep breath in and an exhale out. And 3, a deep breath in and exhale out and open your eyes if they aren't open already. All right, and we are back here in our present time and space, our physical space. So in that visualization, and if anybody wants to share anything, you can for sure. If you were able to see or feel the a tangible object, I challenge you to keep your eyes peeled for that object in your real life, or create that object, draw it, collage it, find it, and bring that object into your being so that you can have it in your space, now to help transport you back to that reality that you just visited. So you can look at that object once you have it, and like time travel back into that alternate reality, which is the amazing thing that you want to be able to do. So Yvonne had a basket full of lavender. So Yvonne, if you happen to have lavender, maybe you fill a basket of lavender, or keep your eyes peeled for maybe the opportunity, maybe a basket of lavender, presents itself to you or something. Michelle on Zoom says, I guess I need a jar candle scented with cinnamon. Rebel says, I brought back a goddess figurine. Jessica says, wow, I've never been able to actually visualize before. Normally it's all feelings. So the time I saw it, it was a case where donations were put into, and that was amazing. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. A lot of people, I get this question a lot from people. Will ask, I would say probably 50, I'm just guessing, but probably 50 to like 65% of people, I would say, aren't visual people in meditation. And so it's really cool. I always say, just keep practicing, just keep going at it, because there will be a moment when it shifts for you. So that's super cool, Jessica. Thanks for sharing. Vanessa brought back a key with me for our future house. I have this key already. My husband bought me a Tinkerbell key for when we purchased our first home. Awesome. Super cool. So you can either go out there and actually like find this thing, or you can find something in your house to represent it. But what can be really cool though is to keep your eyes peeled for that thing. So like Vanessa, if you start seeing random keys, like you find a key somewhere, or like, randomly there's like key emojis everywhere. I don't know, but keep your eyes peeled for these things, right? And nod to the universe for sharing that with you. So Brandy's object is a book of mirrors. At the time, my journey of how I made this life I wanted. Super cool. And Brandy, I know, is doing some work there to manifest her future into being. Kimberly, visualize my house with the changes needed, wanted, new windows and backyard landscape and money flowing. Awesome. Elena, super visual. I love meditation. And you're welcome. Thanks for participating in it. So my task for you, your homework for this week, for today's homework thread, is going to be you can either share the item, or, if you want to keep it personal, that's fine. But try to in some way, like, share with us what you are doing. So you can either share the item. If you don't want to share the item for some reason, you can tell like a next step you're doing to bring that reality into being. And I'll type this up in the homework thread too. So share either the item, or if you don't want to and you want to keep it personal, you could just share like, okay, I had my visualization or my feeling, and the next thing I'm going to do is clean out my closet or clean out my pantry or deal with my bank bills or something, and let us know what your next step is. So one of those two things, and I'll post that thread because we will pick one winner from each thread to win a prize at the end of this week. So definitely share something with us. Yvonne loved that when I burned everything, the smoke turned purple and then it turned into seeds. This I see as learning from the past, that my future is abundant. Oh, I love that. That's super, super amazing. Thanks for sharing that, Yvonne. I can't really visualize and talk at the same time. So so I always love reading other people's because I don't get to experience it, because I'm the one saying it. And I know some people can do that. Some people can lead a meditation and experience the meditation at the same time. But I don't write my meditations in advance usually. I just like close my eyes and see what comes through. And so I think I'm so busy like receiving and spitting out that I can't visualize too, it's too much. Bye, Michelle. See you on the replay. I think we're about done though. So, all right. Well, if anybody has any questions or any experiences they want to share afterwards in the Facebook group, you can definitely tag me over there and I will put the homework thread up for you. And this video is on replay for you through about noon-ish on Wednesday. So you can catch up on this or do it again if you want to do it again, if you just kind of listened and didn't really do it the first time. So thanks, Yvonne, for saying that. We do have, I put it in the email in the group too, our Enchanted Journey is open for enrollment. And we do a meditation in there every month. I put one in there, a recorded one with music and everything. So it's not, I like music to like get me going. But so if you're interested in that, the link is in your email and in the Facebook group also. And then these videos are also all going to be in there, plus our Conjuring Abundance class, which is like the next level of this class. And it's going to talk about crystals for manifesting. It's going to be a whole different guide of tips for doing different manifesting tricks. I'm also going to walk you through an exercise called the an abundance map in that class. So yeah, and that's all going to be that's all part of that. So yeah, Yvonne's in an Enchanted Journey. So anybody who's in there, you're already going to get it. And if you join us, you'll get that also. So something to think about. All right. Well, I'm going to hop off and I hope that you guys have a great day. I'll post the homework thread and I will work on getting this replay uploaded too. So you can, anybody who wants to not watch it on Facebook, who's on Zoom, if you want to watch it again, I'll send that link out because I know we do have some people that aren't on Facebook. All right. You guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing your responses in the homework. Okay. Bye.